Okay, when did you attend the YMCA?
1962 onwards. I should think I was about 14.
And when did you stop going?
Well, only when it really closed at the very finish.
Quite a few
I mean,
years.
there wasn't as much going on then, but we still went in for our table tennis and, you know, one or two other things. I mean, I always thought that it was an excellent venue for youth, for people, you know, young ones to go in, somewhere to go, somewhere to chat, have a cup of coffee, and obviously there was all the sports going on. So it interested such a lot of people, so I think that was also a plus with it. In those days, I mean, there wasn't a lot else going on, so if you could get people into there and get them interested in something, it kept them off the streets a little bit as well, you know, especially in the winter nights, dark nights when there was nothing else. There was a gym which was badminton, there was snooker and billiards upstairs. I mean, there was just a coffee bar if people just wanted to come in and sit and have a chat with their friends. It was somewhere warm, I should think. But it was always hired out for a lot of sports as well. County table tennis matches were played in the gym. There was basketball, football training because there was a football team.
Wow.
So that was, you know, more or less covered a lot of sports for people. Well, I think when I first used to go, I mean, I used to go and watch the lads that played table tennis there. I mean, we're going back a lot of years. And I was in awe of watching them because they were real good players, you know, and I thought, you know, I'd like to get to that standard. And the YM was the place where there was such a multitude of teams. You also had a chance of getting a game or getting a practice.
Yeah.
And in the end, you know, you kind of built it up. And one or two of those guys I played with at the end, you know, so I always good memories of that. But I think the memories were the people you met, and, you know, there was no falling out. Everybody got on, and, you know, it was a good place to meet. Well, it was more or less table tennis for me, but I mean, I did play for the YM football team, so we trained in there a little bit. I mean, I had a go at the badminton and stuff, but I was never that good at that. But, you know, there was some good badminton players in there, and they did have a team in the league.
Wow.
Odd game of snooker and that, you know. But,
Yeah.
and as I say, you talk to different people, and it was always interesting. Somebody had a conversation to sort of tell you, you know.
Yeah.
The guy who was instrumental in coaching me at table tennis, a guy called Ron Rigg, he was a founder member in the YM, and he got me to go in, and we started playing for a lower team, and he coached me on, and in the end, you know, I built it up to county standard, and he used to take us to the county matches, you know. We used to get a minibus and traipse off to Yorkshire or Lancashire to play a county match, and those were always, you know, things that people give up your time to help you, you know. There was that many people attended the YM to play, such as table tennis. Sometimes you had to wait half an hour to get a game, you know, because it was that popular, and that many people were interested in it, you know, and they used to bring their friends in, and then they would join, and, you know, it built the membership up as well. I mean, there was an odd youth club about that we attended, but it wasn't on the same stamp as the YM. So obviously we'd probably still attended those. But whereas the YM was open every night and every dinner time, apart from, you know, Sunday and Saturday night, other youth clubs were maybe only once a week on a Friday night or something like that, and you wouldn't have got the same enjoyment, you wouldn't have got to meet as many people. So that was what really, it came home that the more people that went there, you know, the friendship was always there, Helen,
Yeah.
You know, other places you saw people once a week, they maybe didn't come again the second week, you know, but it was always the same faces at the YM. Built up that many people, and they were all regulars. I mean, pals of mine that I still know now. I mean, Kenny Kinsella, who runs the fruit shop in the marketplace. I see Kenny regular.
Right, okay.
Kenny was a table tenniser, you know.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy McLean, Jimmy does a lot of charity work, singing and comparing things. You know, they all started somewhere, even though they went on to maybe different teams in the town for table tennis.
Yeah.
Everybody went to the YM to start with, eh? John Cottrell, who was the old membership secretary, John was never really good at a sport, but he always took part.
Yes.
You know, he
Always
played
had a
football.
go.
He wasn't a great footballer, but he played, and he was always interested in how you did, you know. He would come in and watch the table tennis matches. If we were playing one of the teams that maybe is at the top with us, he would come in and he would watch, you know, see you win your match, and then he would go again, you know. And how do you come on, Alan? Did we win? And it was also, you know, it was always really good. Ron Rigg was the one who started to go there with me, but you know, guys like Palomino who went to school with Ernest Skelly. He's moved away now. Ernest was table tennis. He played with me. I mean, Kenny Kinsella was another. I mean, the lads that I went on to play with, Harry Bowman and Carl Farrer, we ended up the only team in the YM, us three, because it had disbanded that much. There wasn't much of a league.
Right.
There used to be about 4 or 5 divisions, and it
Wow.
got down to 1. And, you know, I mean, it maybe sounds a bit ego trip. We always did win the league, but there were some good teams and some good matches, you know.
Can you remember the sort of fashion?
Well, I mean, we were just jeans and trainers and a little maybe T-shirt. And when we played the matches, obviously, we were in shorts and stuff like that, you know. If it was county matches, we'd try to sort of wear the same stuff, you know. But, I mean, you could wear anything in a match as long as it wasn't white, because it was the ball, the background of the ball was white, you see.
Yeah.
So if you wore a red jumper, a red T-shirt or what have you, you know. I mean, there was coffee, tea, there was soft drinks, you know, there was biscuits and stuff like that. I think even there might have been toasted sandwiches and stuff, you know.
Oh.
But when we played our matches, one of us used to come through and get drinks for us and for the away team, you know, and pay for them and go back in, and with like a break at half time where they had that, you know. But it was a good little tuck shop, you know. It was, and people used to come in just not to do anything, listen to the music. There'd be a record player on or something, and the kids would get coffee or tea or drinks, you know, and they would sit and talk, and you used to get a lot in, you know, when it was really going strong. And you know, when you looked outside, it was a bleak, dark night, maybe raining, and you know, it was heaving
And
inside.
it's all going off in the YMCA.
I can't remember a jukebox, but I can remember the old Dan Z. There was definitely a record player. We used to go in the front door, and then the first right was into the coffee bar, and you used to walk up some stairs, and you were like in it just a little bit higher, and you could make your order through an open hatch at the coffee shop. If you carried on up the stairs, you went to John's office, and downstairs was tables and some chairs where they could all sit. Anybody could go in. I mean, I don't think you had to be a member. You could pay a nightly membership, but I think most of them maybe would join. But I think if you came in and just bought at the shop and sat in there, you didn't have to pay anything. It was only if you maybe went to play or wanted to play the table tennis or snooker, or there was a varied amount of stuff, you know. But it was also music playing generally in there.
Good, nice atmosphere.
It was also good. There was never any trouble, and it was a big place. Was the YM, you know? You went in the front door. Say that was on one side. Where they used to, the women folk used to hire it for their cards and the meetings, and there was a piano in there. Then up the stairs to the snooker and badminton, straight through, table tennis on one side. I also remember those old swing doors in places.
Yeah.
You used to go through the swing doors, and then you were at the door for the gym. And I also remember when they used to have a handicap competition in the table tennis league, the Whitehaven and District Table Tennis League it was, and the final was played in the YM, and we played this team. We were given an enormous start to these kids, but we eventually won it. But you could go, instead of going into the gym where you would go to play, if you turned to the right, you could go up some stairs. They were like open planned stairs,
Right.
and you could sit up the top, and you got a great view of it. Say I played first, Carl and Harry were sitting up there, you know, trying to egg you on a bit. And then when I finished, I'd go up and they'd come down and play. And then when you went through the gym to the far end, there was like these double doors opened, and there was 2 more rooms. We used to play our league matches in one of them. When you were in those rooms, you looked out onto the garden area. We played our matches in 1 or 2 of those. And sometimes when we had a town game against Carlisle or something, we would play in one of them. But they were used for all kinds, you know.
Right.
And you say the dog training was in the gym.
It was, yes.
Yeah, we used to have the dog. We used to wade through the dogs to get out. And the dogs were told to sit, and they weren't paying any attention. I think girls had dancing classes in there. I'm sure there was dancing classes in there, or gymnasium for girls. And we used to have to knock and say, it's all right if we come through, because you didn't know what state the
Of
dress they'd be in,
course,
you know.
yes.
There's a girl. She was one of the leaders in there, and obviously John's daughter was in, because I think they used to maybe spell John off a little bit, you know, later on when things were quiet and that, you know.
Yeah.
And I say Joe Porter was there for a long time, and because when it came towards the end and we were just really there for our table tennis, there wasn't much else going on,
Right.
so we didn't go really into the coffee bar a lot, because, you know, one week we were at home, so we were playing the matches. The next week we were away, maybe
Yeah.
Falcon Club or something like this. But there must have been a guy or two that helped in there. I mean, badminton was a big thing as well at that time. When we played football, you know, we went on the football games, but obviously that would still be just in local areas, you know.
And was that a YMCA team? that you
Yeah,
were
it was a
involved in?
YMCA team that sort of John created, and you know, there's quite a few of us interested in that. We never did much good, man, but we
Just
tried.
fun.
But yeah, I mean, it was the enjoyment again, wasn't
Yeah,
it? You know, but they were in the West Cumberland League, which were in against some good opposition, you know. But that was another interesting. Most of just about all the lads in it would be members
Yes.
of the YM, you
Yeah.
know. There was that many teams in the YM, and there was that many divisions of other areas, because there was a lot of people interested in table tennis. And as I say, you could go in of a night and maybe sit for half an hour before you got a game when we first started going. It was that popular, you know. And that influenced me, because I've always been interested in the table tennis.
Yeah.
But other things, I mean, yeah, I was never much good at badminton or snooker and stuff, but you always had odd game, and you maybe filled in a competition or something, you know, because I'd have in-house competitions for snooker and billiards and maybe badminton and that, you know. I mean, I used to drive past there, still do drive past there, and think what a sad end to it, you know.
Yeah.
Because when it closed, you know, a guy called George Bell, George was a member. George still lives in Whitehaven, and even when it closed, George had a key for the YM. Right.
Really?
So we used to go and have a game of table tennis, me and him.
I love that.
And it was, you know, summer probably. So we would walk in, and George would open the door, and we'd walk in, and it was deathly hushed. There wasn't a thing going on. Go in the table tennis room, have a couple of games, come out. George would lock up. But it's nice to see that something's happening to it.
Yeah. If you could give one piece of advice to young people today, what would it be?
I think, you know, try and get an interest in life, and try and get your friends to have an interest with you, and go somewhere where you can develop, you know. Even if you go to the sports centre and do something, you don't have to be good at it, do you?
No.
But it's just the interest, and you know, so the YM used to meet up, kids used to meet up, just have a cup of coffee or a chat or listen to the records, you know. Easy things can make people happy, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like to think we had our time over again in the YM, you know.
Yeah.
Good memories in there.